It's usually a short trip, a quick commute from the suburbs to the center of Manhattan's financial district. But on Tuesday, it was the distance of a lifetime. Tonight, Dateline's Hoda Kotb on one of the lucky ones who made it out and his long way home.
They'd all dressed that morning for capitalist combat in the canyons of Wall Street. Within hours, those who could still walk were refugees, dirty, dazed, and desperate for a way home. For Jimmie Vasquence, his journey home to Oxford, Connecticut, a 90-mile trip, started just after 9 a.m. on the 24th floor of the World Trade Center, shortly after the first airliner slammed into it.
The whole building shifted to about 2 o'clock this way, and then it shifted back to about 11 o'clock this way, and then it just kind of rocked back and forth. It was settling into the foundation.
Down through the smoke, one flight at a time, Jimmie and his co-workers walked, unaware of what was happening above them, uncertain of what they would find below.
And we were moving, and people were saying, I don't know what prayer it was, but though I walked through the valley of the shadow, people were just chanting it.
On the 16th floor, there was a bottleneck. Jimmie says he found an exit from the stairwell and a phone that worked. Like so many caught in the chaos that day, he called home.
And I called her and I said, honey, I'm okay. I'm alive. Like an idiot. I said, I'm trapped in 16. And I said, don't worry, baby, I'll get out. And I hung up the phone and I was looking at the other building, and that's when the other plane hit the other building. And I was on the lower floors, but all the fire and the debris just, and right then I saw this lady fall by the window. Her back was on fire, and she was clawing at the air like this.
Out in the stairwell, Jimmie says he saw firefighters headed higher, their sweaty faces smudged with smoke.
I could still see their faces. It was like they all had blue eyes, too. I remember that. And none of them looked afraid.
Who could have known that many of those firefighters would not be seen again?
That never once crossed my mind, that entire time until we got down to 9, that the building could collapse.
Down on the plaza, Jimmie was horrified at the sight of bodies and body parts lying crushed and burning amid the debris.
We ran through the mall, which has got to be almost a block long, maybe 2 blocks, and then we came up by Borders Books.
Out on the street now, he found complete chaos. No one to tell him what to do or where to go.
And we just started walking down 14th Street. And I bumped into this guy named Brian, who, we were both, just pandemonium.
He and his newfound friend carried with them only what was in their pockets. Jimmie had only $7, Brian a cell phone, but it was perpetually busy.
So I just started going up to people on the street and giving them my phone number and saying, please just call this number. It's my wife. I just want to let her know that I'm out and I'm alive. And I don't know how many people I gave that out to.
Jimmie walked 3 miles by the time he reached 14th and Union Square. Then he saw a crowd of people looking back toward downtown suddenly gasp. He turned in time to see the building he'd just left crumble. He and Brian started walking and never looked back.
I didn't realize how far we walked. That's miles, I think. And I was at 33rd and Broadway, and Brian had to sit down. And while he was resting, I just kept hitting send for Franny's phone number, and I got through to her. And 3 people whose number I had given to had already called. Told her he's out, and he's alive, and he's just walking.
And he would continue to walk because something told him the safest place in Manhattan was the waterfront. So he headed east to the Midtown Tunnel. He just wanted out. 7 miles down, still 80 to go.
When people were running up to cars and saying, please let me get out. I had my thumb out, and Brian had his thumb out. We were looking at cars. And this guy pulls up in a pickup truck. His name was Frank. And he just said, everybody get in. And myself and Brian and 2 other guys jumped in the back.
For the better part of 2 hours, Jimmie rode through Queens and Long Island in the back of that pickup truck, managing to put Manhattan far behind him. But he still had a long way to go. After traveling nearly 60 miles from the World Trade Center, he wound up at a ferry, where yet another stranger helped him out and gave him money for the ride home.
I only had $7. He gave me money. I got across. And then when I got to the other side, my whole family was waiting for me. I got off.
Are you all right?
I'm all right.
There were stories to tell about this day at work, stories of death and survival, stories of valiant heroes and new friends he may never see again.
No, I just want to go home. We went back